Welcome back, everybody, to the Kolbstrong Power Podcast. Me and Katie are here talking. This is our benching and bullshitting episode for the week. The holiday seasons weren't really too kind to us, so we haven't been on for a while. We were sick. We were busier than all dog shit hell. So we're back now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the
Pick up where we left off, basically.
Pretty much. We've got a lot going on with training and a whole bunch of stuff.
So let's start. Let's back it up. Our very last podcast was Thanksgiving. We had the interview with Lauren Cudworth, which was a pretty good interview.
Yeah.
And then after that, all of December, do you want to talk about what we did in December?
December. I don't remember December.
We had our meet. We both got brutally sick.
Yep.
Duncan and his crew came and lifted.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So we'll start. We'll start with the fundraiser. Anyway, we ran our first official fundraising meet for the Kolbstrong scholarship. We hosted a small non-sanctioned meet. We had 10 lifters. It wasn't big by any means.
It was super fun.
It was awesome. We had compliments from veteran handlers, people that come to meets and just help and spot and load. We didn't have a single hiccup, not a single hang up. They were like, this is one of the most well-ran events we've ever been to before. Even though it was small, it was a push-pull meet, bra only, fundraising purposes. It was ran incredibly smooth, but we had a fantastic group of people there to help us.
Yeah.
Who really know what the fuck they're doing. So that helped. We raised.
It was a little over $700 in that meet, which was really good for having 10 lifters between like the donations that we had, the lifting entry fees, and then that doesn't even count all of that's just the money we were able to put towards a scholarship. But then we also had Anderson Powerlifting donated $200 worth of gift cards. Death Wish Barbell donated shirts and supplements.
Yep.
Who was the other supplement? You handled that donation.
Geared Up Nutrition. Also donated supplements for the top lifter by coefficient or Glossburger formula. And we had lots of supplements, free equipment, ammonia, wraps, things like that for the top female, top male. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that morning, I think the very first donation of that morning put us over the $700 mark, and that's what put us over the 3,000 to be able to sponsor our third lifter for the scholarship for 2022. So applications are open now, and we are excited that we're going to get to pick 3 people for this first year.
Awesome.
We wanted 1 and we got 3. So that's very exciting.
We raised $3,000. We can help 3 athletes.
Yeah.
So that was the event we hosted. We're going to have more. We got some cool ideas of different events to host for this coming year. Then we had a group of lifters come in from Lynchburg, Virginia, which is about 3 hours away. A young man named Duncan Hunley, who's actually a part of Anderson Powerlifting now.
Yeah. Congratulations, Duncan.
And he brought like 6 or 7 guys to our gym, our facility on a Wednesday, and we lifted. We trained together. It was pretty awesome. Whole new crew, whole different group of guys. Never met them before. That was pretty fun.
That was when I was really sick, so I didn't get to go. So tell everyone about it. Tell me about it, I guess, because
they showed up on time. They were very on time. 5 or 5:30 on the dot. I think I was actually late.
We're late every day, so probably.
So they showed up. It was 7 of them. We started benching. It was my kind of bench accessory day. We were doing 3 board slinger. So like I was wearing my Widowmaker. We were doing top end lockout work. We were actually doing sets of 10. I did sets of 10 with, let's see, I did 850, 950, and 1,000. And those guys just kind of followed suit and did what I was doing, and pretty fun. Then we did a group tricep movement where I had a sled on the ground. I call it tricep death. There's tricep murder, which is where you bench off of boards in consecutive order. I actually did I call it tricep death. The sled is on that end of the gym. Is a big rope that goes all the way down to where you are on the floor, and you have somebody stand on the sled and you grab the rope and you do a tricep extension. And you grab the rope and you pull that guy all the way down to the other end of the gym.
Who did you have on your sled?
I had the heaviest guy who showed up. He was like 335 pounds,
Nice.
plus the weight of the sled on turf, so it didn't really move very well. So that was fun, and we had a good workout, and it was pretty awesome. I got it all recorded, put it on Patreon, and I just saw we got a new patron here about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, cool.
So,
thanks for joining.
Whoever it was, I don't know if they're live here with me or not, but if you already joined, I appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Thank you very
He'll
much.
reach out later anyway on Patreon and say hi.
Yeah.
But,
So then
then it was like holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
You had what's his name, Terry?
No, I had Toby Hurley.
Toby Hurley.
Toby
I mixed
Hurley.
them together.
He's from downstate. He's from the southern end of Virginia. He came up and he wanted to learn and get his bench kind of critiqued by myself, my crew, and had a good time with him and his wife. And he benches alone, but he had one bad habit that a person training alone would do or possibly develop, where he's benching out of those rogue hooks that swing out of the way when you take a weight out. So he was shouldering it to get it out of the rack. So his shoulders were out of position. So we fixed that. Other than that, he had a beautiful bench set up, so didn't have to correct much. But it was fun. I mean, you both got just sick.
I was sick that whole time.
We were just sick as a dog.
And then we kind of got unsick about a week before our meet, which was towards the middle of December.
Right.
And then there was just holidays and New Year, and like we're 2 weeks into January, and we're finally like, okay, let's get back on track with our lives.
I was fine after 10 days. I was sick.
Yeah.
We don't know what it was. It wasn't the big one that's going around right now. It was just something else. You can still get sick and not have the
It was enough to kick our ass.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
Bad.
So
anyway.
But yeah, so since then, January, somebody decided the new year was just going to be
shit.
No, like the greatest benching.
Oh, I thought you meant like the
happy January. Let's bench 1,400 pounds.
I thought you meant like the 95 rack having no power.
Oh yeah, then we didn't have power. That's what it was. Then our power was out for a couple days, 3-4 days. We lost $200 and some worth of groceries.
Short story, some jackass on 95 who didn't know how to drive in the snow wrecked, blocked up all the traffic. They couldn't get guys in there to save them. People sat on the highway for 24 hours. We lost power.
Everybody lost power. Some people were lost power for like 6 or 7 days. I think it was like national news about I-95 being shut down.
There was camera crews over here. There was helicopters going overhead. I was like, oh, get out of here. Jesus
and like the
Christ.
rerouting. So everybody had to come from I-95 to Route 1. And Route 1 is how, like, we have to get out of our apartment complex. It goes on to Route 1. And there's no like good merging, and the traffic lights weren't working, and people just don't care. And there was like 2 wrecks right by our intersection.
Yep.
It would take us like 45 minutes just to get out of the apartment,
and
then 6 hours to get back home.
Imagine
it was so bad.
Imagine being involved in a wreck in dead stop traffic. That's how
That's what they kept doing.
That's how stupid this
in the intersection and not moving their cars, and nobody could go anywhere or do anything.
Nobody's moving, and people were still wrecking. It was
bad.
Stupid. The whole state was unprepared for the situation.
Yeah.
Moving on. I don't want to go down that fucking hole.
But in the midst of all that, you benched 1,400 pounds.
Well,
on a Saturday.
I benched 1,400 off the one board.
In the gym.
3 Saturdays ago. No. 2 Saturdays.
It was that Saturday that we first lost power, and then Wednesday, you did your 405 for 20.
So yeah, after I did 1,400 from a one board, which was 100 pounds more than I've ever handled in my entire life. So it fucked me up bad. Then that Wednesday, I hit a PR with 315 for reps. I hit 40, which was my
315 for 40.
My best with that was either 32 or 33 the last time I tried it. So that was a huge leap forward. And then that coming Saturday. So last Saturday, now we're catching up.
Now we're catching up. You shit the bed.
My CNS was kablaster fucked from handling 100 pounds more than I've ever had my entire life in my hands.
Plus having no power.
No power,
all week.
no CPAP machine. I couldn't sleep.
Couldn't sleep.
Oh.
Couldn't eat.
No food.
I mean,
Calories.
obviously we ate. Like we weren't just sitting here starving to death. But the food that you were eating was.
It was not
normal.
ideal.
Yeah, you were way under calories.
Not for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So and then we got over it. I got my weight gain finally came in. It was like 3 weeks delayed because of all this fucking snow down here.
Yeah.
Virginia and snow don't really work well together. In Ohio, this would have never fucking happened. Just saying. Anyway, so I got my weight gainer, got my food back up, got my machine plugged in, sleeping very well.
Finally sleep. It took you like a whole 2 nights to catch up. That one day you napped for like 4 hours just to catch up.
It was bad. I didn't realize how much I actually need that thing until I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then now we're lined up and we're back to this week.
Today.
And I received a 2-ply. If everybody is not aware already, I'm doing a training cycle where I'm working with the Farrell equipment now that Farrell is working with Anderson Powerlifting, and Anderson Powerlifting is the sole distributor for Farrell equipment. That's it. You can only get Farrells from Anderson. I have a code as well as Kolbstrong, 10% discount. That's not commission. That's just purely for you to have a discount. Use my Instagram handle. If you want Anderson equipment, you get a discount. So I got a 2-ply. It's just a stock 2-ply. There's nothing special to this thing. It's just a stock 50. It doesn't have the super neck on it.
If you order a 2-ply 50 from Anderson, you're going to get this exact same shirt.
Yep.
It's not special. It's not custom.
Nope. It's just a bone stock. It's got the kind of the squared off neck on it. It's 2 plies right here. You can see that. And I've been trying it out, and you know something, it was Amber's idea, I think, because it's the same concept with poly. It's less layers, but you can wear it smaller. That's how I made my single ply polyesters work so well. It's one single layer, yes, but I wore them so small that I mean the 1120 in June at that time was the heaviest bench ever done, regardless of gear, weight class, age, drugs or no drugs.
Yeah.
So that really says something how much potential polyester really has. So the same concept with this, we went from these big custom multi-layered Farrells to this really small 2-layer Farrell. And it's working really well right now. Very happy with it.
Yeah. I feel like you're able to, same with polys and this shirt. The shirt is able to assist you in lifting the weight versus some of the big shirts. They're at the bottom, like you're just assisting the shirt, so you're able to control it a little bit more.
It feels more familiar.
Yeah.
It feels more familiar because I'm so used to wearing things so damn tight. I mean, if I'm not really well known for anything else, single ply benching, I think, is what I'm most known for. But
squeezing you into a toddler t-shirt.
That's how it works. You can't. I'm telling you guys, you cannot wear your single plies like you wear multi-ply. It will not work well. So I technically mastered that part of the sport anyway. So we had that idea. Me and Amber and Katie kind of thought about it. A few more of my friends at the gym, and we went with a really small, tight-fitting double, and it's working really well. So tested it out today, and I put it all on Patreon. It's up there right now. We worked up to 1,000 pounds
in the double
to a half board. A half board's about a 1/4 inch.
And it moved.
It just flew up.
I mean, I don't think I was expecting it. No offense. I just didn't think I was expecting it to move as fast as it did because the other Farrells that you have are so much bigger that I was like, oh, this one's not going to have the same kind of power. But it did.
Yeah.
And you did. And it was incredible. I thought it was so good.
That was fun. We actually heard the thing creak. Now, creaking means like that's the sound of fibers, like
or
like
the stitches
splitting.
stretching out a little. Yeah.
So when I got down to when I touched, it was like you could hear it creak, which is a good thing. That means it does in fact fit super tight, and it is in fact stretching a very far distance, which is kind of the point.
Yeah.
So we went to 1,000. I was like, okay, that's good for that shirt for this week. I took that off. I put the big boy shirt on, which I've been in more. This is only my second session with a 2-ply Farrell. The first session was on Wednesday, me just putting it on, testing it out with like 5 or 6 plates, just kind of playing with it. So the big boy shirt, oh, it's heavy.
Much bigger.
Is this
You
thing?
can even just see.
Yeah.
Like, look at the collar on that.
Yeah, so this has an actual like collar. I mean, this thing is, if you look at it, it's flat. There it is. That's what it looks like.
It's big.
So this is my custom 4 that I came from Farrell. And he designed this thing specifically for my style of benching. And I'm very, very at home in that thing. It fits perfectly. So today I went straight from 1,000 to a 1,300. Just went, okay, this is 300-pound jump, which if you're adapted to certain weights and you're in equipment, you're not going to hurt yourself. You can make those big jumps.
And you've handled it plenty of times before.
Yeah, 1,300 pounds is becoming a pretty common number right now. So I went it was actually 1309. It was easier just to slap on some greens, not like, oh, a 10 and a 5 and a fuck that. Just 1309 is fine. Smoked it off of one board. I was like, okay. Now it's moved faster before, but it felt consistent. It's nice and boom. And these are the lifts that are on Instagram. And then I was like, well, fuck, what do I do now? Do I stay here, just fuck around with that way, or do I go up? I usually try to go up because that's just what I like to do. And I went up to 1425, and that's the one board PR that I got today. And it was very fucking heavy.
Yeah. That one, a lot of your lifts are just like, oh, so fast. Oh, so good. Wow, that was amazing. And this one, originally, he was going to do it for 2. The plan was 1425 to a one board for 2. He wanted to double what he did last week, plus a little bit more weight. And he brought it down. It looked beautiful. And as he started going back up, I was like, oh, turds. Is he going to try to take this for a second like that? It looked heavy. It's very rare that it looks heavy when you hold it.
You can't hear it in the video, but what I actually said when I got it up, I said, just one. And then they took it from me.
I didn't hear that.
I was like, no, that was, I didn't overshoot. I don't want you to get the wrong.
That was definitely, what do they call it? RPE 10.
Yeah. No, RPE.
You were at the top there, bud. That was your max.
So anyway, I didn't overshoot it. I still felt very capable. It's
but
just
it was
that
a tough rep.
I overshot taking it for a double. That wasn't going to happen. But I'm still very, very happy with it. Every time I go, like a one board PR for me now is literally a weight. Well, from this point forward, it's going to have to be a weight that I've never fucking touched.
Well, and it was just a few months ago when all you could talk about was 12.
Right.
All you could say was, I'm going to bench 12. I want to bench 12. Okay. And people were joking that you were going to bench 13 and 1,400 pounds. And I literally had to tell some of our teammates, like, stop saying those numbers because my anxiety, like, I can't handle that yet. Let's hit 12 first. And now you're skipping 12 and going straight to over 13 in the gym. Like 12 is not even a working weight anymore.
It is. It's still really fucking heavy.
It's very heavy.
Don't get it twisted.
It's just, I don't know, baffling to me that we're at 14 right now. When months ago, 12 seemed like the mecca.
Well, that different from equipment. I still have an ultimate goal to do 1,200 pounds in a single ply polyester shirt. That is that's still a goal that I have. It's just that these Farrells, these band shirts are just they make everything so goddamn. 1425 was not easy. But could I do that in a poly?
Fuck no.
Absolutely not. Not yet. But I've touched 13 a few times off boards in my polys. And holy shit, I would be on the ground for 20 minutes. Just the nature of the shirt and the contortion and the compression and the nature of how polys work. I'd be on the floor for 20 minutes after lift like that. I can do 12, 13, 14, 14, 25.
Yeah.
Freak out, CNS speaking for a few seconds. And after I get over it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I got no marks on my arms. There's no.
You're recovering faster?
Yeah, I'm not torn up or anything. I used to bleed.
They're a lot easier on your body
yes.
than a poly.
Oh.
And I mean, that's apparent. And they're easier to move weight than in a poly. That's apparent with the guys that can't bench 500 pounds in a poly, putting 1,000 pounds in a Farrell shirt.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, if you can push 500 pounds more, the shirt is making a difference.
Absolutely. So
And I'm glad about the recovery part for you. I think it's great.
It's fun though. I'm not gonna. It's fun as hell, and I enjoy working with Rob Farrell.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, I've been with Anderson for 12 years. And there's a reason why I stay with them. If anybody knows, it's just they're just incredible fucking people.
They're amazing.
And there's a reason why I really enjoy working with Rob. He's just an incredible ambassador to the sport, and he gives and gives and gives, and he cares. So I love that. Anyhow, that's as up to date as we can possibly go. So what's today? Things are going incredibly well. So
what do we have coming up?
Right. What do we have coming up?
We have nothing in January. We're just
Training.
training.
Yep. February, I'm thinking about competing in your kind of IPA meet. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
We'll be there regardless.
Going to be there regardless because a lot of my crew, some of them, it's their first competition ever. Actually, Dean, Owen, and Taylor are both all three first
Taylor?
meet ever.
Oh, she's done unsanctioned meet. This is her first sanction.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I'll be in York regardless, the end of February. I might compete. I might not. I don't know yet.
We'll see.
The very next weekend, we're leaving. So we're leaving York, going straight to Ohio, going home for a week. The very next weekend is the Arnold Classic. It's still on, from what I understand.
So we'll be there with Anderson Powerlifting all weekend.
And our newest member is also one of our crew members, Amber Hansen.
Hell yeah.
Is the newest member of Team Anderson Powerlifting. She's going to be up there with us, going to work the booth all 3 days. I love the Arnold. I love working with Kevin in the booth and pushing product. Yeah. I think we're going to have a bench, and I think I'm not doing any shirt work. Just
rep work.
I'm probably going to give a reverse grip demonstration. Maybe do 405 for 20 or something stupid like that. Who knows? And then we'll go out to eat and team dinner, and we'll go to the Mongolian barbecue buffet, which is a normal. Every time we go to Columbus, we always go to the Mongolian barbecue buffet. Always.
So good. Jim eats so much that I throw up.
The last time we were there, the waiter I got done with 2 plates. These plates are enormous.
And they're as big as you fill your bowl. And when you're filling your bowl and holding the food on top to hand it to the people, they're going to be
the only way to do it. But and then the guy was, and then you have to get your waiter request another bowl to go fill to get another plate. I got done with 2, and he goes, I can I get another bowl. He's like, you sure? I'm like,
just bring 2 more.
And I stutter like yeah. He's like, oh, I've seen guys bigger than you not finish more than 1. I'm like, well, I did 2. I would like a 3rd. Go and get my 3rd. Eat the whole, scarf it down, barely tasted it, flying down for another bowl. He's like, are you sure, dude? I'm like, am I a child? Yeah, I'm fucking sure.
Well, when everyone else at the table has been done eating for 45 minutes and you're still going, we're all shocked.
Hey, we only eat there once a year.
It's such a treat.
Oh. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna hang out in Columbus. I fucking love Ohio. I hate the winter. Fuck you, Ohio. I hate your winters, but I love living there. I love the people. They're so much nicer than South. Not only does Ohio look like a heart, but Ohio itself is like the heartbeat of the powerlifting community. Yeah. How much more badass could you get? You host the Arnold Classic every year. You've got Westside, Lexington, Elite FTF, Doghouse, Laura Phelps' sweatshop. Like, it's the mecca of the powerlifting community. I'm sorry, it is. I don't care. Texas got a lot of cool things. I was going to mention California.
Texas is cool because they got it as a high school sport. Like, yeah. I will probably not get over that.
Oh, that's badass.
But maybe we could make Ohio a thing.
Well, we'll see.
Get into more high schools there.
Anyhow, so and then after the Arnold, so it's York, Arnold, York again, 3 weeks in a row. I might compete if I don't compete in York the first time, I'll compete in York that time. RPS meet, not IPA. I love Amy Richlax's benches that she uses. Love them. Very safe. I got 2 guys that want to do that meet, or 1 now. I'm not sure. And then, Jesus God. Then we got The end of March is the WPO Bench Bash for cash. I think I'm going to that down in Florida. The very next weekend is the Women's Pro-Am in Cincinnati. So we're
Back to
back to
Ohio.
the York, Columbus, Ohio, then York, then Florida, and Cincinnati, and then Texas in May for the Baddest Bencher 2. And then I think we get a break
for a couple months.
For a couple months. Oh, Jesus.
And that's as far as we've gotten so far. Well, I guess we'll see how the rest of the year plays out. But yeah, that's kind of our up and coming. We will have another scholarship meet this year. We just don't know if it's going to be down here or if we're going to try to host one up in Ohio. Oh, yeah.
Go like down.
Oh, down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
Or what, like where it's going to be. We're also thinking of hosting like a kind of like a bench only meet, I guess, like slinger meet. We were talking about.
I think I'm going to work with Ralph Talati of Death Wish Barbell. And we want to host some sort of as a bench meet.
Take a bench off.
But I want to have like multiple flights. If we get enough people, I want to have like 2 flights so people have it's not like one continuous flight but it's a bench off and it's going to be where you can wear it's like a slinger meet where you can wear any kind of slinger, no shirts, but like slingers, single, doubles, whatever you want to wear, any brand, and you compete. And we'll work on, I don't know how we do the prizes and stuff. We're going to work on that.
Yeah. Probably like heaviest bench for men, heaviest bench for women, regardless of body weight, coefficient, gear, whatever, as one. And then we'll do probably a coefficient for top male, top female. So 4 big winners. Are you okay?
I'm perfect.
I was like,
you get home from the gym like I do. I get home from the gym from the day. No. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Get home from the gym, another 800-calorie shake, pass the fuck out with my CPAP machine, wake up, now I'm doing this live. So, and then the other idea we had is to do a push-pull or custom Ironman, which means you can do, it's kind of a funky idea, but we're working with it where you could do, you as the lifter pick which 2 lifts you want to do to get a combined total. Yeah. So usually Ironman is bench deadlift, but you could do squat deadlift, you could do squat bench or bench deadlift or just bench by itself. I don't know.
We have to pick 2. What are you gonna do?
Not if I have to. I mean,
yeah.
Oh well.
Pick 2. It's called the pick 2.
Okay, but you can do any combination of the 3 lifts to get the highest possible Ironman total you want.
Yeah.
Different idea.
That idea actually came from Aubrey Timmons, who we interviewed. Her podcast episode will be out here in a couple weeks. She's 16. She's from Ohio, and that was a question that we asked her, and she said that, and we were like, "Whoa, that's cool as hell." Mm-hmm. We're gonna do that for our next meet.
Yeah,
so that's super cool.
Crazy idea. I mean, I went to an IPA meet. Let's see, January of 2020. It's tattooed on my arm. Yeah, 2020 is tattooed on my arm. I don't care. It's a good year for us.
It was.
First 1,000-pound bench. Got out of the Marine Corps. I love 2020 was good to us, and then she moved forward in life and everything. We had a good year together, but the fuck. Oh, so that IPA meet was kind of a throwback meet. So they went in order. They went bench, squat, deadlift, which like they used to do that back in the.
That was weird, but
50s or 60s. It was.
I feel like it threw a lot of people off.
It did. They haven't
done it again.
They haven't done it in the last 2 years. No. But it was different. It was bench, squat, deadlift. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. So anyway. Are you done?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I want to get to questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it just kicked me out. I had to jump back in, so I lost all the beginning questions.
Aww.
So if you scroll up, you'll be able to see all those.
Okay.
And then I'll have the rest of them. I almost did it again.
All right, guys. So
just go ahead and scroll back up, and we'll start answering questions.
Yeah. So we're gonna answer questions now from the live, which I have my phone sitting right here. Yeah, just go to.
I got it.
I just want to get to the we wanted to do kind of the.
We don't want to miss that.
Benching and bullshitting first. Now we're going to get to questions that we see, and we will go from there.
Yeah. I know there's some up here before
Oh, Marlon's on here.
Yeah, he asked questions later.
Guten Abend, Marlon. Good to see you.
So he's asking how the 1425 felt. You kind of talked about
It
that
felt like
already.
shit. It hurts. It was very, very painful. Joe's on here. There we go. Aerial lifts. Aerial lifts. How do you keep such a strong passion for the sport after so long of lifting?
That's a good question.
That's a deep question. Well, it's
He's obsessive for what? So
She's-
there's that.
she swears I'm like secretly autistic
No,
or something.
no,
Yeah.
you have an obsessive personality.
But
You
it,
do.
the way it shifts, it like shifts and has cycles and
Yeah.
stuff.
You absolutely, for like 6 months straight, you ate nothing but shrimp and rice. Bland.
Okay.
That's all you ate.
I put rice. I put salt in
That
it.
was weird. Sometimes all you do is watch Star Wars and nothing else.
I do that all.
Like, but anyway, you're obsessed with powerlifting.
So
obviously.
I guess the way it works is I've not spent my career concerned with others. I'm trying to do this kind of the right way. So I've always been concerned with myself. I mean, there's always numbers I want to achieve. Records are cool. Now I'm working with records now that I'm up to the level I'm at. But throughout my entire career, I was not concerned with other competitors, people that were rivals. I don't know if I ever, whatever.
You have any of those?
I just was concerned with me and the numbers I wanted to achieve. This entire time I've been lifting weights. I've been competing for almost 14 years, lifting altogether for almost 18 years.
And you're still that way. Like you're not, oh, I'm gonna bench this weekend because I just saw so and so bench this last weekend.
That's it. It's
because why?
I
Like,
always
you're competing with yourself.
I always have wanted to keep lifting because I have goals I want to meet. Say if you spent your entire career like I'm gonna chase that guy down and beat him, or I'm gonna chase him down and beat him, and I'm gonna beat his total and beat.
Yeah, that's stressful, and also
Well,
I wouldn't want to hold that much animosity.
Well, it's not just stressful, but like, okay, so what if you would? Okay, what if you're a full power guy and you achieved like, okay, let's just say disregarding Hoff, no one's going to beat Hoff for a while, but I'm saying, okay, if you achieve the highest total ever and you beat everybody and you spent your entire career just trying to beat him and beat him and beat this and beat that, yeah, it's all about beating these guys. And then that was it.
Yeah, you've reached it. Like,
and then
what
like
now?
What? So I've spent my whole life not concerned with anybody else in the sport except for one guy, and that's me. So I have this very, very refreshing, constant drive to consistently beat myself and beat my own marks over and over and over and over again. And I absolutely, one thing about me, I won't do something unless I'm totally fucking in love with it. Absolutely not. Like college, dropped out. High school, fuck you. But lifting weights has
He
been
didn't drop out of high school. He graduated high school, just so everyone knows.
I did.
I just wanted to make that
I
clear.
don't know how I passed. I was in the back of the room saying, fuck it, and writing down my next workout. What's my next workout? How can I improve this? Maybe I could do this workout. Just page after page after page after page of just workouts and like ideas. And that's all I did. I don't know how the fuck I passed.
But you did.
True story. So that's kind of how. That's a long, drawn out explanation, but that's the easiest way I could explain. What do we have next? Marlon from Germany is asking, do you think you will hit 1,400 pounds on a meet this year? Would you open the doors for the new level? Think Maker and Brownie will chase 13. So one step at a time, competitively speaking. Right now, my highest bench is 1,120 pounds done in single ply equipment. Now I have branched off. I'm doing a training cycle where I'm using all this over the top band shirt equipment. As long as I bench more than 1120, I'm beating myself. I am going in the direction I want. Ultimately, right now, my first initial goal is to bench 12. And then what's next? What, 1250, 1275, 13? I don't know.
Yeah.
To say
if it's a good day, and 12, 13, 14 in the same meet.
Whoa, well, to say I'm going to bench 14 this year, I mean, it's so much just to do it in training and the setup and the time it takes.
So you're just starting to handle that weight.
Yeah.
You handled a grand for 2 years, a whole year in the gym, plus a whole year of attempting it at meets before you hit it.
it's a lot. So
Mhm.
it's gonna take some time. And I'm just now getting into it, touching those kind of weights. It's gonna be a while. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, it might take three, but I'm always hungry and I've always got goals and things I want to meet. So who knows?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Oh, Hudson, you are the strongest man alive. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just I bench
Thank
weights.
you.
Thank you. JK Laos is asking for single ply. Should the shirt be as small as possible? What is the best way to break the shirt in? Yes, it should be as tight as you possibly can get it on, and then maybe even just a little bit tighter than that. For real, you have to wear them that way. Ken Anderson told me back when I was 18 or 19 years old that a properly fitted single ply, properly fitted, can rival and surpass anything multiply. I was like,
He was right.
what? And that was true. And if I didn't show how true that could be in June of this past year, then I don't know if I could ever prove that. Now to break it in, start with so for example, if you're a 500-pound bencher, easy number, take that shirt on your first workout with like 2 plates. You take the weight out, you put all the weight of the bar on the material. It might only move a quarter inch. Just do this over and over again. Let it sit on the shirt. Let it sit on the shirt. You have to slowly start breaking in those fibers. The next workout, put maybe 275 on there. Same thing. Do multiple sets of like 10, putting all the weight of the bar on the shirt and let that fiber start to break in over and over and over. By the third workout, maybe go up to 3 plates and do that. And that should be about time to start breaking it in, coming down to like a 3 board. And once you touch a 3 board, next workout, God, the phone's
It's all right. They can re-listen to it on the podcast.
okay. Dang.
Because the podcast is just gonna have a giant lag in it, so just keep talking. Did it kick you off live?
I don't think so. You just can't see me.
For those listening to this on YouTube or on the podcast, we're
Right.
also live on Instagram. That's where all these questions are coming
Why don't
from.
you turn that off? Maybe it's too many devices.
Why?
I don't
It
know.
hasn't been this whole time.
Okay. Anyway, after the few break-in sets, break-in workouts, started coming down to a 3. Next workout, 3, possibly to a 2. It's very easy to do. I have a lot of information about that on my Patreon, or you can just message me directly. I can talk about it, but it's very, very basic. What do we got next? Let's see. I'm going to scroll down. Nice. Amber's amazing. Yes, she is.
And that's what we're talking about.
1425. Got. Okay, here we go. Chaplain David, what do you do to recover after frying your CNS? How long do you need to recover? So, generally speaking, in my experience, the only way to recover from a fried CNS is time. Now, normal weights for me are right now 1200, 1250, 1300. That's like a normal weight range.
Yeah.
And that's just normal. I'm fully adjusted to it. I can handle those weights and not be fried.
Yeah, you don't get the shakes.
No
You're not
shakes.
exhausted.
Now, 1400 plus, 1400 whatever, that fries me really bad. I think I'm a little more adjusted to it because I already handled it once, but it took me 2 weeks to recover, CNS speaking, from 1400 pounds. You just have to wait. You just have to rest. Things like proper nutrition, diet, sleeping a lot, eating as much as you can, as often as you can. If you think you're eating enough, you're probably not eating enough. I promise. I barely eat enough. I mean, I'm still burping up stuff from that huge shake I had, but you just have to wait. Now, I came in the next week after 1400, and I was holding weights like my warm up weights. I was shaking. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you had 5 plates on the bar.
I was shaking. I was like, oh, that clear sign. I am fried as fuck. So
still went up to 14 and tried it.
I went to 13.
13, yeah.
Failed at 13. I got a full range 12, despite shaking like a fucking leaf in autumn. But I went up to 13 and missed it. I don't miss weights very often. It kind of threw my guys off. Like I am I'm not recovered yet. So let's just wait till this next week, which was today. Got a 25-pound all-time PR in the gym for training lift off of one board. Super happy about it.
Yeah.
You just have to wait. You just need time.
And everybody is different. Jim recovers very quickly for a human being. We've had training partners that have tried to keep up with like the intensity of the overload. And at like week 8 or 9, they would just start to go backwards and burn out. And they would need 3 or 4 weeks to recover.
I felt so bad.
But then when they started again, they would just fly up.
Yeah, I felt really, you'd see them peak in strength, and then the next week they would start going down.
But then that was your cue that you knew to back them off.
And I was like, oh,
and then overload again. And it worked. But
I did, but I was like, oh God, I fried these guys. I'm so sorry. But it's really genetic. It's really gonna depend on your genetics, how fast you can recover CNS speaking. Ariel Lifts asks, would you recommend lifting in college or outside of school in a different federation? Oh, so okay. Wait.
This is where my questions are caught up now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So I can see them from now.
Would you recommend lifting in college or outside of school in a different federation?
So maybe her college has a powerlifting team. Like, should she lift just with that school team?
Oh, screw that.
Or all of it. Like, if you're allowed, would you be allowed to lift in other federations while you're on that team?
Oh, unless if you're on the team and they say no, I say, well, then screw you. I'm gonna lift where I want, when I want, how I want. That's my
everywhere
attitude.
You can while you're young.
Yeah, I recommend going out and experiencing all federations. If all you know is USAPL, if all you know is USPA, all the power to you.
Or if you've only ever lifted in 365 strong, try an IPA. If you've only ever tried IPA, go to an APF meet.
There's not many feds out there that I haven't lifted. I've not lifted in 365 strong.
Been to one.
I'm not lifted in the NGPF. Go fuck yourself. For real. I'm not joking. Sorry.
I know. Another topic.
But I've lifted in all the major feds: UPA, IPA, RPS, WNPF, APF, IPF, believe it or not, USAPL, USPA, USPF, way back. Jesus, NASA, but the NASA Federation is NASA.
You liked NASA. I mean, it was a starter federation.
It's a starter fed. I grew out of it after 2 meets.
Anyway, we're not talking about federation.
I'm just saying, I experienced a very broad band of different feds, and I got to experience all different platforms, all different kinds of people, all different kinds of judges and meet directors. And I realized I like these. I hate these. So I got to experience that. So I definitely get out there and experience everything the sport has to offer. Branch out and experience it. Don't just be stuck in this one little sliver.
But then you might find your favorite federation.
Yeah, that's the point. You experience all these different feds. Like, whoa, I really like how they conduct themselves. Mm-hmm. These guys are assholes. I want to lift here and here and here. Do that. Don't just limit yourself to one fed. Don't do that. Get out there and see what's out there.
Okay. So the next question down. So when we were talking about doing the pick 2 Ironman, Thomas Undutchable said, then why not do a raw slingshot, single ply, multiply, bench only for like an Ironman bench only total?
Shit.
Like that would be kind of, I think Jeff Miller talked about putting on a meet like that where it's single ply, multiply, unlimited.
Yes, I know it's raw, single ply, unlimited.
Raw, single ply, unlimited.
There's actually a meet coming up. It's TBD, to be determined.
December, late fall.
In the fall, Jeff Miller, which is Ray Ann Miller's husband, wants to put on an officially like a sanctioned meet called Lords of the Bench, where you have 3 attempts for a combined total. Your raw bench, single ply, unlimited, all combined. That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, for like your main bench total.
I don't want to steal that from him though. He's
Well, Jeff might let you borrow it.
Anyway.
Who knows? That's a cool idea. Yeah.
For an unsanctioned meet, absolutely.
1,500-pound bench soon. That's a number I told him he wasn't allowed to talk about yet.
1,500, huh? oh Jesus Christ,
Let's get used to
I
14.
can't imagine right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
after today, even with how heavy it looked.
if I was gonna touch 15, again, this is all straight weight, guys. I don't do reverse bands and where 300 pounds is taken off in the bottom. I don't do that. I do straight weight only. So it's 1,400 pounds up here and it's 1,400 pounds down here. If I was going to touch 15 right now, and I needed, it'd probably be a day where I'd want to overload and fry my CNS again. I don't want to do that for a while.
You wouldn't do it right now.
I would probably just take it out and pull it. Let's do like a 10-second, 10 seconds. I would do a hold of sorts just to feel it. And
because we also we have to adapt our team to handing that out. Our team is amazing. For 3 men and sometimes women to pick up 1,400 pounds, pick it up and move it, and then let it go in sync with each other
perfectly
is just as impressive as you benching it. Mm-hmm. They're amazing. And you could not be doing what you're doing without them.
I can't tell them enough that I literally can't do this without them.
Yeah. So we're also working them up to being able to hand out that much weight. So everybody needs to grow into it.
I mean, they got to stand on blocks on the sides just to be able to have enough leverage to get 14 plus out to me.
Yeah. And 15? Then get it back in the rack.
1,500, man?
No.
I don't know. I would like to say I will touch it here in the next few months. Will I do anything with it? I don't know. I'll feel it.
Take it one step at a time. I'm not ready for 1,500 yet. Emotionally. It's actually really scary being your wife sometimes, FYI. We're not going to talk about it because then I'll probably cry. Next question. How easy is it to use a 4-ply Farrell compared to a triple-ply poly?
Light years easier. Light years. Oh, just, yeah, unbelievable. Triple-ply poly is absolutely absurd, miserable. Single-ply poly is absurd, miserable.
Yeah, on your body.
Yeah, it's hell. It's absolutely just destructive force shearing.
This one might actually be a better comparison. 2-ply Farrell versus a 2-ply poly. Like the 2 plies. Same answer?
Same answer.
No.
It's there's no that's the thing, which is why we were all so pissed off in the beginning. That the feds were just like, yep, that's multiply. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, bitch, that is not multiply. That is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Different bench styles,
different forces, different dynamic. It's storing energy by elasticity, not compression. There is some compression there, but not a lot. No, it is so different. It's unbelievable. And that's why it's in its own division called Unlimited for a reason. It is insanely different. Yeah. I'm so glad I got into it because I could leave the gym feeling like I'm still a human being, not a piece of ran over dog shit. And I'm not bleeding down my arms, and I still got skin attached back here, and my face isn't all blown out. So it's pretty cool.
And so this question is a really good question for right after that. Do you think the band shirt is going to carry over for once you get back to poly? And will you supplement it in cycles like training blocks, like you do when you go between single ply and multiply?
Yeah, definitely.
It has to carry over.
Well, it's going to carry over mostly because of adaptation, because I'm handling 12, 13, 14 on the normal regular now. Whereas when I'm in my poly numbers are like 1,000, 1,050, 11, 1150. I've touched, not touched, but I've handled 12, 1250, 1,300 a couple times. But now I'm handling it almost full range all the time, every fucking weekend.
Or you're skipping over it altogether and going to something higher.
Yes. So it's going to have, when I go back to my polys, I'm handling 1,000, 1,100, 1,150. It's going to feel a lot better because of my adaptation to these heavier loads of my connective tissue and my bones.
Like, and with your hands, when you did that 13 in poly, your hands, that was your limiting factor then. How do they feel now after handling 14?
They still fucking hurt. I mean, one of my limiting factors is the skin of my palms, not the bone or the wrist. It's the actual skin because my wrist wraps are pushing all this skin. I got my real tight wrist wraps on, and I'm taking this bunched up skin and putting a bar on it, and it's smushing it. So the two forces working against each other, and it just
Do you ever think you're gonna get a blood blister from that? I guess it's not like the force of like being like
no. But just Jesus Christ, it hurts so much. And I let go of the bar, and I'm just like, that's the first thing I do, and then like it's almost numb. And when you're taking like the wraps off, they're pulling my shirt off, and like it brushes, and you can barely feel it. It's like cold. It's like
like when your leg is asleep.
Yeah, it's like but So no, I think it will have carryover, but not in the way that we're thinking. I think it's not gonna
like a poly overload to poly.
Right.
Like how that overload would carry.
It's gonna have benefit with bone density, adaptation, speaking. Yes.
Kind of like poly to raw.
Kind of.
Just because you can handle 1,000 in a poly doesn't mean you can automatically bench 8 raw.
But your raw weights will feel. You're gonna be if you're adapted to 1,000, 400 or 500 raw is gonna feel lighter because you're adapted to so much. Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. Are triceps still 75% of your bench press, even when training raw? I've heard Louis Simmons say triceps were 75% of the bench press.
I think the answer to everybody's
bench questions.
Well, any
help me bench.
Help me bench. My bench sucks. I'm stuck. I'm more triceps.
And do the weird tricep stuff. It's not fun.
And then second to that, I would say more back. Work your back more than your front and slay your triceps. You can never, even myself, and there's nobody on the planet that I believe has strong enough triceps. More triceps is the answer. So yes, I believe that's still true.
Have you ever experienced after a bench or a tricep session, when you flex your triceps, it would cramp up really bad? It happens to Thomas and Dutch.
Oh yeah. I've had it where I try to put
like a Charlie horse.
Yeah, it's like if you flex too far, it'll like oh shit, you have to like keep your arm up here. If you go to reach for something, it like seizes up. You're like, oh shit, you have to do this. Like yeah, happens.
Do you have advice for that, or that's just you gotta let it heal?
You just gotta let it heal. Stretching might help. I have like limited mobility. It's hard for me to stretch the tricep because my bicep gets in my way or something. But like if you stretch it, might help. Massage gun it. I don't know, but definitely have to pay attention to that. Yeah, that sucks.
A lot of talking about like, oh yeah, mind you that in the comments.
Okay.
Mothman eats his veggies. I get the hand pain. I train in my garage, and when it's 15 degrees out, my hands hurt just touching the bar from the cold.
Oh Christ! So he's out in California, I think. So yeah, he probably
like northern.
I don't know. I think southern.
Have you ever tried some kind of skin-friendly medical tape to protect your hand skin, kind of like hook grip pullers do for their thumbs?
No, because if I start using protective tape,
it's not legal.
It's not legal. Some feds don't let you use tape with your hook grip deadlift. I can't hook grip deadlift anyway because I got fucking these meaty, palmy baby hands.
Sausage hands.
I gotta do the whole reverse, those supinated and fucking. I hope my bicep stays attached. But no, if I start using aids like protective tape, I get used to that, and then I can't go to the meet and use it. It's gonna fuck me up. So I just bear through it. It's just skin. It's just
train like you compete. Don't do anything in training.
That's our motto.
It's gonna fuck you up on meet day.
Train how you compete. We compete. That's why
we figured that out years ago, and that is what's helped us ever since.
Well, that's why I only use straight weight competition. I used to do reverse bands, pretty heavy back.
And when we switched that, we were just like, why are we doing all this training?
We don't do reverse band shit training. It's not 1,000 pounds up here and 700 down here. It doesn't. No, you use straight weight in competition. So use straight weight. Best decision of my life.
Ooh, yeah. Anyway, Mothman's from Wisconsin. That makes more sense. That's a lot of cold.
I was thinking. Fuck. You said 1 rep max. I was like.
Oh, did I?
At one point.
I don't think I did. But that's who you're thinking of. It's all right. Wisconsin.
Ooh, yuck. All that lake effect.
No.
Cool.
What's your favorite exercise for triceps, and how often do you train it?
I can't. If you watch my lives before. If you're on Patreon, you'd already know reverse grip bench. Reverse grip benching has changed my life, changed my career for the better. When I got my first 1,000-pound bench, January of 2020, I benched 1,035 multiply, actual like poly multiply, not unlimited, the multiply katana. That same year, about a month or two after that, I started reverse grip benching. So I've been reverse grip benching for almost 2 years. And my next 5 competitive bench presses after that 1,035 multiply bench, my next 5 benches were all single ply, and they surpassed my multiply every single time. So I went from 1,035 to 1,050 to 1,080 to 1,120 to 1,060 to, I think it was 4. Anyway, my single ply bench, not only because I technically mastered the single ply, but my tricep strength just blew through the fucking roof because of reverse grip benching. I cannot talk about it enough. I could have an entire live and bore you guys to death just talking about the reverse grip bench. So
maybe we'll just make some YouTube videos on it.
Perfect.
There
we'll
you
do
go.
YouTube videos.
There you go.
Besides that, if you want a more simple answer, single joint movements would be something like dumbbell extensions. I do floor extensions, either with dumbbells or a curl bar. I never use straight bar. Straight bar will destroy your joints. This is natural joint alignment. This is not natural joint alignment. It'll destroy your wrists. So I do a lot of dumbbell extensions, usually on incline, and then floor extensions where the bar is on the floor from a dead stop, and then extend, dead stop on the floor. That's single joint movements.
Yeah. Okay. This person says, have a 2-ply F8 bandage shirt. Would love it if you would do a full video on the difference on how to bench in a bandage shirt. A lot of people are saying no tugging.
Tucking.
Oh, tugging.
Probably.
It says tugging. Maybe tugging or tuck. Yeah, you're right.
No. So at least in the 4-ply monster that I showed you guys earlier, Rob designed. So, okay. So I don't necessarily tuck very hard. I don't bench like this.
In your polys?
Nope. I just bench off my belly. I try to limit how much I'm tucking. So when we lock out a weight, we have to be out here. When you're locking out a weight, you want to be flared out. If you're doing rack lockouts, do this experiment. You can lock out more weight flared than you can tucked. I promise. You want to flare at the top when you lock out. So if I tuck a shitload in the bottom, I have to then waste a lot of energy
do that corkscrew.
doing the corkscrew motion to eventually come out and lock it out. So I try to actually limit how much I tuck. So I tuck about maybe 45 degrees. I don't know. My biggest thing is benching down here on the belly. As long as I can come down on the belly, I don't care where my elbow is. I'm not trying to bench out here like this. I am tucked somewhat, but I'm not trying to physically tuck a lot. You have to transition back out to here, corkscrew. So as long as I can bench down here, I don't care where my elbows are. Now, tucking is more for a thing like if you're in a poly and the weight locks up, the shirt just stop like a katana. Well, they lock up on you. You try to tuck more to get the shirt to open and then make it touch. So I don't actually physically try to tuck when I'm benching, regardless of what kind of gear I'm using. So
but you're also not flaring out, pushing out.
No, I'm not.
That
no.
was some of the advice you got in the beginning, and every time you did it, it was just like the shirt would go away.
My shoulder was starting to pop under 1,000 pounds because I was flaring out.
Dislocating your scapula.
Yeah, I actually dislocated one of my shoulders, my actual humerus bone, because I was like, okay, bringing it down. Okay, flare out, pop, and I was like, okay, fuck this. So no, I just, as long as you're benching on your belly, you can do that even with the stock 2-ply. The stock double that I got from Anderson Powerlifting with the stock neck. This is stock everything, right? No special neck, nothing custom. I can still bench down on my belly. I just bring it low. I just bench normal. I don't change anything. And like you said, initially we were being told, oh, do this, you gotta learn how to bench, you gotta flare out. I was
Yeah,
like,
do everything that you
what?
know what to do differently. And it was such a mind
And I
fuck.
was like, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna go back to my polys. So I did that for I was back and forth, back and forth. And then one day I was working with the big boy shirt, the one that Rob made me custom. And I just like it wasn't going, I was like, wasn't going right. I was like, what the fuck? And I just like, hey, out of pure frustration, I just brought it, I just bellied up and brought it down how I normally do, and it clicked.
Yep.
And the shirt, I was like, holy shit, there it is.
Yeah. I remember you and Amber was so excited. She was like, do that. Whatever you just did, do that.
It was like 850 leading up to a big weight that day. I think touching 12 for the first time in one of these things. And I bellied up and benched normal, and it just like it came down further and it poof shot up. And I was like,
the power
there
of
it
being
is.
pissed off at it, you know?
So I just bench, nor I don't change a thing. I bench in these, how I bench in my polys, I limit my tuck. Sorry for the long explanation.
Yeah, that was good though. Thoughts on using chains when benching?
Yeah.
Don't like it?
I got conned into it a couple times at the gym by my peer pressured by my few of my guys.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Straight weight is the way.
Why don't you like chains?
Because for me, the chains were always, I know that's kind of the point, but the chains were always uneven. I don't mean like they were collecting on the floor in a different way. That's kind of the point. No, I always had trouble where there was more chain hanging off the floor or hanging to the floor on this side. There was more chain off the floor on this side. It was always like it was like benching like this, like uneven. I would get hurt, like minorly, but I would like I twinge something.
Do you ever use chains in your shirt, or is that like a raw thing?
No, that's a raw thing. I've used one, and I had there's a video on my page or on Instagram of me doing a close grip 765 with a slinger, like 100 pounds of chains. That was one of the days I got conned into doing it. I'm not a fan. Again, I think
conned into doing it.
Yeah, you know,
with love,
with good intentions. But I'm a fan of straight weight. That's how we compete. I know it's all West Side and it's conjugate and change and bend and acceleration and force equals mass. Okay, Louis.
You just want to go in and pick up heavy shit.
I just want to go in the gym, lift heavy weights, get stronger. Simple philosophy. Fuck chains.
Okay. What is one thing you wish you'd known much earlier in your lifting career? And do you have any regrets so far in your lifting career?
So I wish back when I was 15, 16, 17 that I would have known, hey, if you're training the way you want to train and nobody else on the planet trains that way, but you're getting results because every human being, past, present, and in the future is different. I am different, she's different, you're all different than any other human being that's ever lived. If you're getting results from the way you train, but nobody else does it, that doesn't mean it's wrong. I used to be like, well, I'm getting super strong, this is working, but like Ryan Kennelly doesn't train like that, but Scott Mendelson doesn't train like that.
Like it can't be right.
Gene Richard doesn't train. It can't be right. I got to do something different. I got to train how they train. They're the strong ones. No. So what works for me won't work for her, won't work for any of you, might not work for anybody at my gym.
Or it might work.
Or it might.
Don't tell them that it won't. Like it might work.
So I wish I would have known that back when I was a really young buck. Now, regrets?
Do you ever regret taking that break to join the military?
Yes. That's my biggest regret.
I think it did some good though, because you were really burnt out. Like taking a break, maybe.
I had left the sport. I left the sport in 2015 like an asshole. I dropped a dead turkey. Cold turkey.
Cold turkey, dead turkey still
dead
dropped.
Turkey's cold. I dropped.
Yeah, you literally came home from the gym one day and you were like,
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm not going back. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Nope. I sold all my equipment.
Or gave it away.
I sold triple ply bench shirts, squat suits, boss suits. I sold it all. Went away. And I dropped it cold turkey. I lost 20 pounds just in muscle in the first 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I lost an additional 20 pounds when I joined the Marine Corps like an asshole. That I regret because I probably could have benched. I was attempting 1,000 pounds one competition in 2015 at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, at 25 years old.
20,
25, because then you joined the military at 26.
25. There you go. Yeah. So I mean, I was touching 1,000 pounds in competition at 25. But I had to wait until I was 29, 30 to do it. I do regret that. I regret.
But I mean, from where we're at now, everything happened how it happened, and what we have now is really good.
I know, but just the Marine Corps was not the way.
Yeah. Or do you wish you would have kept lifting? And I mean, I guess you couldn't. There's no way you would have been able to drop 35 pounds and still stay.
When I joined the Marine Corps, I was Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I was that
obsessive personality. You were obsessed with being the best Marine you could be.
I was at 5'5". I got little legs. I was a 20-minute 3-mile runner at one point. I mean, I was really gun ho into it. Shooting, I was a really good shooter. I was my best shot out of 350. I scored a 326 expert on rifle range. I was really into it. It turned sour really quick. It was fucking stupid. I wish I hadn't done it, but we're in a good position now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
as lifting wise, just don't take that break.
So, no disrespect, but I was in it once, so I can say what I want. So,
anyway, I'll cut you off. All right, asked this before but missed it. What can I do when I have lockout problems? I always fail my lifts in a shirt. Train floor press. Oh my gosh, floor press. You know what that is? Okay. With chains and spotos. Anything else I could do to help?
It could be a technique thing. I always say, so I not only bench backwards, I also bench backwards in another sense. The whole concept of when you're in equipment, this is especially important. When you bench an equipment and you touch and you press, it's a bench press, right? You can't think of it as a press, you have to think of it as an extension. So normally in a bench press, the whole cue is press it up, press it up, press it up. When it gets to the top, start engaging the triceps and extend and try to break the bar and have to lock the weight out. So a lot of times you see this, you see a big lift, it goes boom, and it stops. And then you see this. You see a struggle because you're turning your triceps on at the last minute. So it's a press followed by an extension. I do that backwards. I extend followed by a press. So when I touch, I'm thinking about I'm not waiting for the end of the lift to start breaking the bar apart and engaging the triceps. I do that at the beginning. So I do an extension followed by a press. I do it backwards. So I touch, I start engaging the triceps. I try spreading the bar apart. My triceps are engaged. Then I follow that with a press. So I have a tricep dominant press. If you wait until the top, it's like if you had an empty bar in your hands and you were an inch from lockout. So you're just like right here. You're sitting here with an empty bar. And I just magically threw 500 pounds on there. Ooh. And your triceps weren't ready to catch that weight at the top. You're never going to lock it out. I tell the story, which I mean, no disrespect to him, my buddy Adam Hicks. Me and him went to the '09 Bench Nationals in Cleveland, USAPL. Ugh, I hadn't learned my lesson yet. Well, this was the day I learned my lesson. Different story. He was trying to bench 500 pounds. All 3 attempts went the exact same way. And he had dropped 100 pounds of body. He was 220 at this meet. He was 320 when I met him. So he had a big drop in body weight. 700-pound bencher. Now he's trying to bench 500. Each attempt, he brought the weight down, press, it went boom. Then he did this. He couldn't lock out. He was this far from lockout. All 3 attempts, just boom. And he was literally dancing like this. He could not lock it out. I was like, how the fuck is that? And I realized back then what was going on. I'm guilty of this. He used the equipment and his main pressing muscles to heave and push or press the weight up to here. Once you get up to here, your triceps aren't turned on and you're never going to lock that weight out. You have to engage the triceps down the bottom of the lift by extending and then follow through with a press. So you have a tricep dominant press. So I think it's a technique thing. That's why when I teach boards, I refer to them as 3 board extensions or 2 board extensions. I confuse people. I'm like, oh, when you touch a board, don't call it a board press. Rewire your thinking. And you're not pushing, you're not pressing the bar off the board. You touch and you extend. Touch and extend. Don't push. Don't do this. Extend with the triceps. You have to be a tricep dominant bencher. It's very hard to do. It's taken me a very long time to learn how to do that. I used to watch videos when I was like 20 or 21 years old, benching like in the 800s. I would like do it back and forth. You could see the bar come down in one smooth motion. It would come up in two motions. I'm like, that doesn't look right. So I was doing that. I was using the equipment and pressing. Then once all that shit gave out, it would stop. And then on a second motion, oh, now triceps. It was a struggle.
It would almost like right arm, left arm. It wasn't like it is now.
So you have to fix that. You have to train yourself to be tricep dominant and use your triceps the entire lift. Don't wait till the top to engage triceps. Engage them down in the bottom. So I can engage from the bottom with pecs, right? Or I can engage in the bottom with triceps. So I can use my arm in the bottom or my chest. I don't want to engage from here. I want to engage from here. Okay, not this, and then this. Use this in the bottom. Okay, that's as easy as I can explain it in the short.
Look good to me, bud.
Okay. So what's next?
All right. Any shoulder issues when you're benching reverse grip? Tim McCain says he noticed after a few weeks his right shoulder gets a little cranky.
So the thing with the reverse grip is that it locks your shoulder. This is internal rotation. This is a big no-no. This is bad juju for benching heavy weights. You want to be externally rotated, which is tucked. When I reverse grip, I can't do the full reverse grip. I do the hook grip, the talon grip, where it's like in my 22 fingers here. Yeah. So I don't bench. This is pronated. This is reverse grip. I can't physically do this. My wrist won't let me. So I hold the bar between these two fingers like this, and I bench like this. So not like this, like this. You are locked into an externally rotated position. You cannot physically flare out from here with your reverse gripping, which is why it's so safe for the shoulders. Thank you. So if you're having shoulder issues, it might be because you're still initiating the movement by using all of your pushing with this. Whereas when you touch, you should be trying to extend out of the bottom with your triceps, not pushing with the shoulders and pecs and then the triceps. It's hard. It's easier to be tricep dominant when you reverse grip bench as compared to pronated. But that could be the issue that you're still relying on. If somebody is relying on these muscles to do the majority of the work or initiate the press, then I make the argument that your triceps are not the strongest muscle. Your triceps, that's why I don't do heavy chest, heavy shoulders ever. I still do them to keep them from atrophying, keep them big. I'm trying to build some muscle, Operation Get Bigger Titties. That's one of my things. I have small pecs. I'm trying to get them bigger. But I want my triceps to be the strongest muscle. Whatever's the strongest, your body's going to rely on the heaviest. When you begin a press and you're tricep dominant, you have really strong triceps, you're going to use your triceps to do the press. If your chest or your shoulders overpower your triceps, you're going to rely on your shoulders and pecs to start the movement, do the initial press, followed by the triceps. That could be the reason. Make sure your scapulas are tucked enough. I had a problem where my left one was not tucking enough because I had a mobility issue. Jericho from our chiropractic care fixed that real quick. But because I couldn't tuck this one enough, my shoulder was out of position. And I was actually hurting my shoulder, even reverse gripping. I actually dislocated my shoulder slightly. I was sitting at home and I relaxed. My shoulder went boom. I was like, pulled it back in, slept that way. He fixed it the next day. But so even, it was like, boom. I could feel it slip. I was like, oh, that ain't good.
Yeah, and you were like, I have to sleep on this one side. I have this pillow under my arm.
Yeah, it was miserable. I mean, it didn't hurt when I was sleeping, but I knew like if I relaxed, it would slide out of position ever so slightly, but I can still feel it. So you have to be tricep dominant. You have the key, like we mentioned earlier, more triceps, more triceps.
All right. What do you recommend to a football player that had a labrum tear after PT?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You might just need a doctor for that.
I'm not one to do any medical advice. I recommend doing your physical therapy.
Go see a
Oh, well,
doctor.
he's saying after PT. He had a labrum tear. He did PT.
I mean, do they give aftercare instructions?
I don't know. That's a really good medical question. I'm not qualified to give that kind of information.
And he's never had any injuries like those to compare to.
The only thing I will say is that there's a lot of successful, very heavy lifters, benchers out there with torn labrums who have been successful. I recommend probably not benching raw very much. Get into equipment. It's designed to keep you safe and to keep that shit from happening. But you probably did it during football. That sucks. I'm sorry. Consult your physician. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I can't give medical advice.
So we'll probably start wrapping it up here, but here's this one from One Rep Max. It is the correct one this time. How are your forearms?
Fine.
You're good. Now that your ulnas are back in place, you're fine.
Yeah, I had both ulnas out of place at one point. Jericho put them back in. If
you guys are ever in Virginia, you gotta go to Fredericksburg. You have to go see Jericho at Alive by Design Chiropractic. There was so much wrong with Jim's body that he was like, how the fuck did you just bench 1,120 pounds? Like, he couldn't even fix everything in one sitting, because when you get things adjusted like that, it'll do like your body will kind of go into like a minor shock. So he's like, we need to do this in multiple sessions.
I had both ulnas out of place, one shoulder, 3 ribs in my back, both scapulas, and I think a hip were all out of place. He put them all back in over multiple sessions. The ribs, the sternum, scapula, shoulder, ulnas. I don't know what else, but it sucked.
It was a lot. He was like,
but I also had the equivalent of shin splints alongside the outside of my forearms here. So the muscle tissue was microscopically tearing away from the bone right here. And it hurt like 8 bitches on a bitch boat. It fucking sucked. Got over that. I actually used body protective compound 157, BPC 157, on my forearms here, which helped heal that very, very quickly. That shit makes you heal like fucking Wolverine. Highly recommend it. That was nice. But right now they feel fine. I'm pretty adapted to most of the weights I'm handling.
You started taking coral calcium.
Coral calcium.
That definitely has helped your bones.
That was recommended to me by Rob Farrell, because he told me, hey, my body is not designed to handle 1,000 pounds, even though he did it at a very light body weight, and he was getting micro fractures. So he started supplementing coral calcium to help combat micro fractures in the bones. That's an option as well. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. I had a little bit of pain on the inside of my forearm today at 1425, but I feel fine. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, we've been doing this for
probably close to an hour.
Oh, it's been over an hour.
It's gonna be a long podcast episode. It doesn't say on there.
Well,
it'll also be up on YouTube. So.
Well, what else? Do we have any other?
These are the last questions.
Okay.
So we can wrap it up.
Well, Tony joined. Last minute, Tony. Hi. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna wrap it up right there. I don't want to waste any more time. I want you guys to have a good night and have a good rest of your night, good weekend. So
yeah. Last couple things. If you're a junior lifter or a teenage lifter, or if you know young lifters, head over to Kolbstrong Scholarship. Our scholarship applications are open. We are awarding 3 people $1,000 and a little powerlifting goodie box this year. Just the requirements are you've had to have powerlifting experience, at least 1 sanctioned meet under your belt that we can verify on Open Powerlifting, and a recommendation letter from someone that you lift with. And there's like a little questionnaire. It's super easy to fill out. There's also a nomination questionnaire on the website, just kolbstrongscholarship.com. You can go there. You can nominate a young lifter, or you can have the lifter themselves fill it out. And we're getting quite a few applications, and we're excited to get some more. Those close January 31st. So we've got about 2 weeks left. You dying, bud? You okay? You good?
Yeah. So, yes. Anyway, that's the Kolbstrong Scholarship she just explained to you. I also have the Patreon, $10 a month. If you want to watch every set and every rep of every movement I do, not just what I post on Instagram, all the workouts 6 days a week,
Yep.
of all the background stuff I do that leads
How
me
he warms up,
everything.
what he ends with.
All the sets you don't get to see, all the little background stuff that
A
makes
lot
the
of
difference.
shenanigans from our team.
Watching me squat and deadlift, back work, whatever you want. It's all on Patreon for $10 a month. So
Yeah.
if that interests you, I know a lot of you are already on there. I really appreciate that.
We had 100 patrons. Jim will do 100 burpees.
No, the deal is you get 100 patrons, you have to sniff my worst ammonia
And
on
as
camera.
you're doing 100 burpees.
No,
I remember that clause.
false. That's Marine Corps shit.
So
So again, the Kolbstrong Power Podcast. This is benching and bullshitting
where we just sit here
and
and
bullshit.
bullshit.
Talk about bench.
And we're live on Instagram, so you can ask questions live, and then it'll be up on the podcast.
The only
and
lift
now it'll
that
be up on
matters.
YouTube.
Bench press.
Bench
the only
press.
lift that matters
Yeah.
anyway. So please, that's the end of the episode. Thank you all very much for joining us here tonight. It's been a good night.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you very
guys.
much. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we will catch you next time. All right. Thanks a lot.